long before her reputation as a fine seamstress brought her business from wealthy families in the area. During that time, patterns were not available to her. Nancy's patrons supplied her with only a picture of the designed garments and the necessary clothes. Cloth. From time to time, Shepherd left his wife and children to investigate rumors of greater opportunities in other cities and states. At times, during her husband's absence, it was expedient for her older children to do laundry for a local restaurant and for prosperous family. When Richmond was 11 years old, he built a shed in their front yard and used it as a store and sold refreshments to the neighbors. Later, his shed was enlarged and stables were added to the stock of what then became a family business. Her parents and her brother died long before her family was completed. The young mother was often left alone with her growing family. In Romans chapter 5, verse 3 through 5, she found a lesson upon which she based her philosophy. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing the tribulations worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit who is given unto us. Nancy found great strength and solace in Bible study, prayer, and regular church attendance. She raised her children and was a member of the Eastern Star. A few months after the birth of her 11th child, Shepherd Jr., in 1911, Marie, her three-year-old daughter, died. In 1922, her husband found work in the Jones and Laughlin steel mill in Pittsburgh. By this time, 7 children had married and gone to establish their homes elsewhere. In order to hasten the day when the younger children would be with their father, it was decided that Myra, then 17 years old, would go to work in Pittsburgh to provide funds to bring her mother and the little ones north. Nancy arrived in Pittsburgh in May 1925 with her 3 youngest children and 2 of her grandchildren, May Foreman and Clarence Howard. Shepherd had found a house for his family on Dyke Street in the Glenwood section of the city. Soon, Nancy joined the fellow Christians in the community and helped charter the Morning Star Baptist Church. She served faithfully for many years as mother of the church. Tragedy jarred the smooth transition of life in the North when on September 13, 1931, Nancy's youngest child, Hayward, drowned while swimming with their teenage comrades in the Monongahela River near the Greenwood Bridge. Several years later, on January 30, 1938, her beloved husband, Shepherd, died of pneumonia. By 1942, all of Nancy's surviving children had come to Pittsburgh except the eldest. Susie stayed in Georgia with her husband and family. Great Mother's children.
Since only some of you actually have programs, only some of you will know that I'm going to deviate from the prepared material. I need a show of hands. Let me give you a date. June 25th, 1977, in the park. Raise your hands if you were there. In the park. Oh, baby, put your hand No, you were there. What I'd like to tell you, what I'd like to tell you is, I've always found if you start something out right, it has a tendency to run right. And this is what, the 30th day of June 2000. So if you start it right, it'll run right. For those of you who have a program, I would ask you at some point this evening to go to the history of Thelma Christine Miller. She's the person who actually put the first, with the committee, but the root, the core, the idea, the drive, it was from her soul. And any of you who were there knew that she did everything like a school principal. Oh, yeah. But, the fact is, the Reverend brought this to mind. The fact is that this clan not has existed, but has reunited continuously since the day of the flood. Okay? And, you know, we learned our lessons because we let a lot of time. Okay, some of you may be familiar with this, but it's not last call for alcohol, but last call for food. They're going to break the line down. There's a lot of food left. If anybody would like extra dessert, anything, you must get it now. They're going to break the facility down. So last call for food. We'll do the last call for alcohol later on tonight. But going back to the fact that this clan has continuously reunited since that date says something about this clan. It goes back to that history. It goes back to that woman with all those kids. I thought, were you the first guy? Yeah. Jerry then, Jerry now. But my only point is that this thing was built right and run right, without all the little stuff. You don't look at all the little things and dings we may have taken along the way. If you look at the big picture, this is a powerful plan. And if you look at the little pictures, we keep growing. So it's something to be proud of. So if you have an opportunity, if you would just read on your own that history that her younger sister was so good to put in the book. What I'd like to do is call Rochelle forward and let's do the birthdays and anniversaries.
I just want to recognize everybody with the June and July birthday. Could you raise your hand? Okay, we'll just say happy birthday to everybody. And whose anniversary do we have in June and July? Anyone? Yes.
Anniversary?
June 16th. June 16th. How many years? 4 years. Mary Jinx is the 27th of June. 25th of June. Happy birthday.
25th.
Any other birthdays or anniversaries in the back?
I got two. Birthday, June 17th, anniversary, July 27th, 32.
Happy birthday. June 21st, Cousin Belle will be 50 years old. 50th anniversary.
She'll be 52.
Anybody else birthday in June or July? July 25th, Francis. Happy birthday. July 19th, Larry. July 20th, what's your name? Juliet's birthday is July 20th. Any other birthdays or anniversaries? June and July. June 13th. July 22nd. Happy birthday and happy anniversary.
Okay, let's find out On bunnies, do we have the door prizes somewhere local?
Want to interview me? Want to put me in the camera? Put me in the shot? Hi, my name is Trey Benson. I'm 13 years old. I'm going to Martin Luther King Junior, Senior High School next year.
That's it.
Okay, that's about it.
Okay, what we're going to do now is our talent portion of the event. Okay, let me ask you a question. All of us, based on our roots and our heritage, are talented. Is there anyone who would like to come forth and show that talent off?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take singing, dancing. There's only one restriction, and I remember, I don't know how many years ago, but it was Rochelle with nacho cheese, nacho cheese. That one's out. Does anybody else remember that? So, is there anybody who would like to sing, dance, or otherwise express themselves and show the talent that God gave you?
Aisha.
What is she doing? What is Ryan Brown doing?
Go ahead, speak. Go ahead and sing, Michael.
That's it. I'd like to say it's a pleasure to see so many of us here this year. At this time, I want to say thank you for affording me this opportunity to introduce this next talent. I just met this young lady. I think it was someone I knew a while back, but this character seems to be changing constantly. I think that's typical of teenagers. She's a wonderful individual. She's a recent grad. She graduated from the Detroit School for the Fine and Performing Arts. She graduated with a 3.9 average. She will be attending, she received several academic scholarships. She will be attending the University of Michigan in the fall on a 4-year academic scholarship. She will be majoring in political science and teaching. Her goal is to become an attorney someday. She's done a lot of community activities, volunteer work. One of the most impressive things that she's done this last year is to start her own theater company. The name of the company is HYPE. The acronym HYPE stands for Hot Young Performers Emerging. This individual is also a 2-time state champion in the Interscholastic Forensics Championship. When we think of forensics, what is the first thing that comes to mind? That's not necessarily the forensics that we're speaking. Forensics involves several areas of speaking and acting. There are duo skits that are done. There is exemplary speaking that's done, informative speaking, oratory. In 1999, Aisha was state champion. She was state champion for informative speaking. And the year 2000, she's state champion now for oratory. She will be performing her state champion speech at this particular time. It is my pleasure and an honor, most of all, to be the parent of this outstanding individual, Aisha Benton.
First time you brought her to the family reunion, they were undershirt and had her name on it in the year. The shirt was about that big.
And we had to press the name on it.
Right. Right.
Can just about everybody see me from here? Yes. Yes. It started off as an argument between two homeless people. They drop a candle and suddenly the fire starts. 7 firemen run in to save them as an act of duty. The flames are smoldering, and the building bursts into a blaze of death. In the end, the two homeless people are alive. But 7 men are dead, and 17 children fatherless, 3 weeks before Christmas. While being interviewed by the press and desperately holding back tears, the mayor of Worcester, Massachusetts said, "Real heroes don't dribble basketballs. They risk their lives in the line of duty no matter who the victim is." Our society is in a moral crisis. We admire, worship, and aspire to instant fame and celebrity at the expense of core inner values, socially responsible lifestyles, and a commitment to the larger world that extends beyond self. In order to remedy this problem, we must first recognize its symptoms, then explore the causes, and lastly, offer solutions. The deaths of Mother Teresa and Princess Diana occurred within 10 days of each other. Millions of people from around the world grieved for Diana as if they had known her personally. Why even cyberspace cried its megabyte tears as hundreds of websites popped up. Although later in her life she served humanitarian causes, her life was plagued with deep personal problems that were played out on the world stage. Mother Teresa, on the other hand, spent over 50 years of her life working for the world's poorest. In 1979, she won the Nobel Peace Prize for her humanitarian services. Where was our country when Mother Teresa died? According to an article by the Detroit Free Press, 50 million of us tuned into Diana's view. The money that was spent on the 15,000 tons of flowers could have helped Mother Teresa's 967 orphanages, AIDS hospices, and centers worldwide. What has happened to our American values? And what defines a hero as opposed to a celebrity? According to William J. Bennett, the author of The Moral Compass, a hero is one who sacrifices not for their own good, but for the greater good of others. And he continues, a celebrity is simply one who is a constant source of media attention. The desire for celebrity has even driven people to kill. In a taping before the Columbine massacre, murderer Eric Harris indignantly stated, "Directors will be fighting for this story." Tarantino, Spielberg. It is the desire for celebrity, rather than the conviction to extend ourselves, beyond ourselves, that has allowed us to sink into a moral abyss. They wanted to be famous, concludes FBI agent Mark Holstock. And they are. They're infamous. The act of mourning for people we have never known has lately become so predominant that it even has a name. We call it virtual grief. JFK Jr. dies in a plane crash and people grieve for him almost as if he is a sun. It is covered by every station, from the moment he disappears until the moment his ashes are sprinkled across the sea. But what did he do that so fascinates an entire world? Why, even Elvis is still being spotted at supermarkets and gas stations all over the world. Let's not leave out how over 20 years after his death, People magazine reports he still has 50 million impersonators. The fact that he was addicted to drugs doesn't seem to faze the millions who make pilgrimage to Graceland each year. What causes contribute to this moral tragedy? Well, in the beginning there was the word and no picture. And though all the beasts of the field were created in just a week, the world had to wait over 20 centuries for the genesis of the celebrity. The Lord had not said, let there be a limelight. Indeed, heroes and the buzz about them clip-clop from town to town on the back of the horse. Then mass communications transformed the criteria, velocity and impact of fame. In the process, the glare of recognition became an ambiguous blessing. These were not necessarily the most weighty creatures, the most wise, but rather those celebrities whose misdeeds and deeds best captivated the public imagination. Our sports heroes, who are greatly admired by adults and children alike, often commit immoral acts that go unnoticed by their fans and admirers. 20% of current NFL players have been in serious legal trouble, says National Sports Statistics. Furthermore, 13% of this year's Super Bowl competitors have been in similar legal troubles. Hillary Clinton, who has never lived in New York, is now running for Senate. More stations cover her speeches than any other senatorial candidate. Hillary may not win, but her success thus far has resulted mainly from her celebrity status. Time journalist Lance Morrow writes, in terms of millennium politics, celebrity trumps all else. Has the time of heroes passed? In a PBS television series, The Power of the Many, television journalist Bill Moyers and mythologist Joseph Campbell talk about heroes. Moyers states, we seem to worship celebrities today and not heroes. Campbell responds, yes, and that's too bad. A questionnaire was recently sent to a high school in Brooklyn, which asked, what would you like to be? 2/3 of the students responded, a celebrity. They had no notion of having to give of themselves in order to achieve something. We need to return to our moral compass. Let's decide what's wrong and what's right, what's admirable and what's unacceptable. In Stephen J. Carter's book, Civility, he uses the model of the three-legged stool. The three legs stand for the home, the school, and the individual's place of worship. Carter states, if all three of these institutions work together, mutually reinforcing what the others are teaching, children are likely to learn what they should. If one of the legs breaks, the task becomes much harder, perhaps impossible. The family is the most important institution in America. Just about everything of lasting value starts there. Parents need to disclose the heroes in each of their families. The aunts, the great-grandmothers who have so willingly sacrificed for our empowerment. Children will then learn that a hero is not only someone who does something cool, but someone who does something right, and someone who does something significant. Next, school. Although the subject of teachers teaching values is quite controversial, there are a few morals which no one can dispute. Honesty, integrity, goodwill, compassion. These universal concepts can be reinforced in the classroom. And lastly, religion. This isn't the same for everyone. It differs from person to person and family to family. It is important, however, that a higher being be present to aid judgment. There was a time when a search for heroes led to the White House, Abraham Lincoln, World War II's Audie Murphy, or space, the Mercury astronauts. But in recent times, it seems that Americans have been robbed of these traditional heroes. Where would our world be without the Frederick Douglasses, without the Madeleine Albrights, without the Senator John McCain's, without the Rosa Parks? In reality, all true heroism comes from within. Whether it be John Glenn rocketing into space at 77, or average citizens capturing a carjacker who dragged a 6-year-old child to his death, or Massachusetts firefighters perishing for 2 homeless people, leaving 17 children fatherless. In surveying people about their heroes, psychologist Frank Farley finds that many familiar names, FDR, JFK, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, belong to figures long since dead. People want heroes, says Farley, and where we need to look for them is here, in our day-to-day society. And that's just people out there helping other people. So let us return to the notion that real legends are not made up of still photography that capture public moments, but rather those private stories where ordinary people extend themselves, sacrifice themselves, and in some cases die for the benefit of others. And let us each cease the exploration for someone to idolize and discover the true hero within.
I wanted to say one more thing. That piece was researched and written by Aisha also.
That was absolutely and sincerely magnificent. One other title that you must give to yourself is that of leader, that of family leader. During your oratory, I was approached by 2 individuals who you motivated to want to present, and in one case, one young man said, "I want to do that." Your articulation, your diction, I would ask that all present who are still in a youthful and growing stage, who are not caught in the bad habits of diction and vocabulary, that you aspire to speak as clearly and with the authority and the ability to research what you talk about and know what you talk about and be able to support that you say and be able to say it in a clear fashion. That is a goal. And if you go into law and I'm in trouble, you will do my closing argument, and I don't care if you're a real estate lawyer. That's bottom line. And one of the blessings, I think, of what you just heard is the fact that this is an individual who is from Nancy Beal McDonald, through Susie, through Ruth, through through Buddy, as we call him, and just down the line. So this ability, this talent courses through your veins as it courses through hers. She has put she's been blessed, but she has put a lot of time, energy, and effort into this. And I say God bless you and congratulations. What I'd like to do now, though, is give those 2 individuals who approached during your oratory an opportunity to express their talent and have you understand that you motivated them to approach me. And I've got one young lady over here, and your name is? And you're going to sing? And what are we going to sing? Let's see if we can reach that. And what we're going to sing is After Trouble. And your name? Tell everybody your name and your mother's name.
My name is Juliet Nisha Warmer. And my mother's name is Shantiki Wilder.
Grandmother's name.
And my grandmother's name is Belle. I'm going to sing a song called At the Cross. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my son, and now I am happy all the day. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my son, and now I am happy all the day.
Okay, the next person is a gentleman by the age, he's 4.5 years old, slightly older. Actually, he'll be 5 September the 10th, and he wants to tell you some of the words that he knows in Spanish. His name is Adam Keith Blake.
Hola.
Adam what?
Come on. Adam Black.
Stage fright. He needs some of the leadership from Aisha. Yeah, I think he wanted to do the Spanish from back there, but that's not the way we do it here. Is there anybody else who's motivated to show what gifts you got from the line, from Nancy Beal McDonald? Come on, show the stuff. What I do best, I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm doing mine. Okay, so we've got to have Larry. You got to do something, brother. Something. You got to tell me. Thank you. I'll come back to you. Think of something. Come on up. I'm very serious. We all have talents. We need to share. Sing.
I'm not good at speeches. I'm just going to do like a little something here. Because some people know I do a lot of karaoke. You know, that's when they're singing with the song and so on and so forth. And so, I guess I'll do a little something. Some of you older people might know this. Goes back to the 70s. You know. Let's just say that I'm I dig it. It's a lot different. It's a lot different now. Back then they kept it real, with a lot of music. I'm a musician myself, and so it's just a little something. I've been thinking of you, and you've been thinking of me. Oh, I'll give all that I have if you give all that I need. And let's be fair. I think it's time we clear the air. You've been watching me, I've been watching you. You know I've been wanting to speak your mind. You've been thinking all of this time. Oh, what I wouldn't do to prove with you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's amazing what happens when people make us dig up.
He'll play the drums next time.
I think he wants to do something.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's right, my brother. What we heard here is if you want to hear his talent, you've got to come to his church. Okay? So he shares his church with the Lord, and you got to come share it with the Lord. Okay, what I need are some young people who are good at Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and then we're going to roll right into back in 1881, the MacDonald family begun Shepherd asked for Nancy's hand. It's in the book. But this is sung to the tune of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And getting started is always a little bit. So who's good at Old MacDonald Had a Farm? Don't look at me like it's hang on, guys. Hold on.
What's he got to catch it now?
Pray, you on your job. Pray. Pray. Let's go pray.
Yeah, basically.
Good evening to everyone. Good evening. I am so happy to be here wanna, I said, my voice had gone, but the Lord is able to do anything. Yes. And so I just wanted to not leave and not sing, because this is, remember, it's bringing back my mother and my other people. They couldn't make it from Chicago. They would say the Burrell singer. So I'm still a Burrell, McDonald, and Jones. So I just want to leave this with you. And this is from my heart. I don't know why Jesus loves me. I don't know why He cares. I don't know why He sacrificed His life. Oh, but I'm glad, so glad He did. He left with my home in glory to give to us redemption story. But He died and He rose again just for me. Oh, but I'm glad, I'm so glad He did. Oh, but I'm glad, so glad He did.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a mother-daughter thing here very quickly. You thought the daughter could sing, check mama out. Come sing it.
Good evening. I came up here, I'm not prepared, and I'll do my best. I'm going to sing, I'm sing. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. Never find my dreams. Give them a sense. Let the children's laughter remind them how we used to be. Excuse me, y'all. I did not come prepared for this, but
I made her do it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We've got a special presentation. Who's making this special presentation? Jill. Thank you, Dawn.
I got a question. Why y'all calling all the Jones in the Minnesota Jakes people? What's all these people in here?
Because I'll tell you why. Because right after Atlanta, they're going to do the family reunion. So we just set you all up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
okay, we have presentations for the graduates. We have a presentation from the 1998 McDonald Family Reunion Committee from the Nicholas Thomas Howard Lee Memorial Fund. He was the son of Janet and Noel Lee and my brother. And we have awards for them from the whole McDonald family. When I call your name, can you please come up here? Carmelita Hall. Madeline Humphreys. And Aisha Bennett. These are all 2000 graduates.
You want to come to this? What's she doing?
I'm Carmelita Hall, and I graduated from Roosevelt High School in Gary, Indiana. I'm going to. My name is Madeline Humphrey, and I graduated from Roosevelt High School in Gary, Indiana, and I will be attending Indiana State University.
Close out with the family song. We're going to do acknowledgments and remarks from our host tomorrow at the family picnic. And as the manager of the facility stated, that something to the tune of, you don't have to go home, but at 9:30 you got to go away from here. What I'd like to do, it is virtually impossible for me to leave this song. I cannot do so. So I need anyone who can do Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and then we'll roll over into the back end, 1891. Who can help me out? I'll take young or old, short or tall. Hi, ladies. I really need to. Everybody comes up and sits. Yeah, we're going to stand up. This is an important song. Back in 1891, song of family was begun, separate as one nation stand, in the heart of Georgia land, to that union killing and fight. Shepherd Nancy did survive, Susie first on the scene, next in line and in between, Richard, Carrie, Maddie, James, Myra,
have come together in Charlotte's land. All things